We've got a lot to get into. On the last CBA, the league actually came back to us last night at like 10 p.m. Nothing happened with the revenue share. And that is the whole thing what we're fighting for. They go and they change our salary cap, but only like half a percentage. Like they give us like 50 to 100,000 more dollars, which is like
for individual players, or that's for teams.
So it's like, oh, well, you're getting more money there. It's like, no,
salary cap doesn't necessarily mean it will even affect you directly.
No, someone else could get
right. That fully has nothing to do with.
Sophie Cunningham just laid out the entire WNBA player's strategy on her podcast, and it's revealing in ways she probably didn't intend. Revenue sharing is their non-negotiable demand, the hill they're prepared to die on. According to Sophie, while the league throws money at everything else with minor adjustments here and there, they absolutely refuse to address the one thing players actually want. What makes this particularly fascinating is that Sophie isn't some financially naive player. She's built a legitimate business empire outside basketball, understands marketing, branding, and revenue generation. When someone this financially sophisticated starts echoing the same arguments as the league's most economically unrealistic players, we need to examine what's really driving this narrative.
And changing literally like half percentages of things we're not even asking.
Sophie's dismissive comment about salary cap increases reveals everything wrong with this negotiation approach. When she says those improvements have nothing to do with her as a good player, she's exposing the fundamental selfishness driving these demands. She's not considering what's economically sustainable for a league subsidized by the NBA for nearly 3 decades. Just what benefits Sophie Cunningham personally.
Stuff that matters.
Yeah, I think like they won't even talk about revenue share, but that is our whole fight is revenue share. If you're the league and I'm the player and you buy my jersey in the NBA, if you're paying $100, the league gets $50, I get $50.
Okay.
Right now in the W, it's like the league gets $97, $98 and I get $2.
So when I bought your fucking jersey that all went to Kathy,
and that's what I'm saying. They want 10 plus more games outside of playoffs and like, then you got to pour into your product even more. But I'm telling you, they are trying to throw money at anything and everything and change half percentages, saying they moved and saying that they're listening to us. Yet our biggest thing that they haven't even touched on is revenue share whatsoever. And it's like revenue share is like the main thing that we need you to touch on and you're not doing it.
Sophie's comparison between NBA and WNBA revenue splits sounds damning on the surface. She claims NBA players get 50 cents of every dollar, while WNBA players get 2 cents, painting a picture of massive inequity. But this comparison deliberately ignores the most crucial factor. The NBA has generated consistent profits for decades, while the WNBA lost money every single year for 27 straight years until possibly this season. Adam Silver immediately shut down revenue-sharing suggestions in his recent interview because he understands what these players apparently don't. Revenue sharing only works when there's actual profit to share, and committing to split revenue 50-50 after one potentially profitable season following decades of losses isn't business strategy, it's financial suicide.
And it's amazing. Look, if you think you deserve this higher revenue share, come back to the table in 3 years. After the league has had a chance to absolutely know this league is going to turn a profit. But you have not done that. Man. So this was my comments after watching that video. You guys know I'm a huge Sophie fan, but I'm shocked she has been so delusional about the worth of this league.
The players' survey results show overwhelming rejection of the league's offer, with many prepared to skip the entire 2026 season. Sophie frames this as the league negotiating in bad faith, deliberately avoiding the real issues. But the league is avoiding revenue sharing because it doesn't make financial sense yet, not because they're being stubborn. This season's success is almost entirely attributed to one player, Caitlin Clark. Games featuring her average over 1 million viewers, while games without her return to historically low numbers. What happens when she gets injured or eventually retires? Does the league still owe players 50% of revenue when they're back to drawing 300,000 viewers on good nights?
This summer has the NWSL, MLS, MLB, the World Cup, tennis, golf. And when does that new pro softball league start? The WNBA will be forgotten if they skip 2026. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I just cannot believe that this is her comments on this particular situation, I'm going to be honest, I would have thought she was one of the 20 players that would not have voted no when they did the survey the other day.
If these players actually follow through with a strike, the response from actual fans has been overwhelmingly negative. 8 out of 10 comments tell players to take the deal, don't blow this opportunity up. The harsh reality is the league doesn't need most of these players. As long as Caitlin Clark is playing, people will watch her compete against complete unknowns. 2 million viewers will tune in to watch her play against a roster of replacement players they've never heard of. The veteran players threatening to sit out? Nobody will miss them.
In this article, there was a snippet in there about the majority of fans are behind the players, and I'm like, really? Because I swear to God, 8 out of 10 comments are telling these players, you better take this deal. I don't give a rat's ass. These players are on an island on this. They are. And they don't look brave, stunning, and courageous by continuously turning these deals down. Well, they better address the revenue share. That's what we care about. They haven't addressed it yet. What makes you think they ever will?
Sophie complains about the league wanting to expand the schedule, viewing additional games as unreasonable demands rather than revenue opportunities. WNBA players are balking at playing more than 40 games while NFL players play 17-plus playoffs. NBA players play 82-plus playoffs, and MLB players play 162 games. You cannot demand NBA-level revenue sharing while refusing to provide NBA-level content. The league is trying to create more inventory for broadcasters, which means more revenue, which means more money available for player salaries. But players see this as exploitation rather than opportunity.
Look, not saying that you yourself, your brand, is not worth more. It probably is. Versus every other player in the league outside of maybe 4. But that's the problem too, isn't it? I'm sorry, you can run replacement players out there along with the players on rookie contract.
Sophie's individual brand probably is worth more than her current salary. Same with Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and maybe 4 or 5 other players. But that's exactly the problem. The union negotiates collectively for everyone, including players who bring 0 additional viewers, 0 additional revenue, 0 additional value. The league thinks long-term sustainability, planning for when Caitlin Clark retires or when novelty wears off. Players think about right now, what they feel they deserve based on one season's success. These completely different timelines explain why negotiations are stalled.
Honest. It doesn't have to be crusty 7-year veteran. Nah, we're good. We're good. Sorry, guys. I had to call her out. There's no way. I mean, it's just, I'm like, what? Come on. Come on, you're smarter than this. You are all on a united front, sort of. And you all collectively look dumb as a group. Sorry, is what it is. Tell me what you think. I'll probably get some mad people that will unsubscribe.
The league is increasing salary caps, adding money to player compensation, expanding schedules to create revenue opportunities, doing everything possible to increase player earnings without committing financial suicide. Players respond with ultimatums, revenue sharing, or we walk. But ultimatums only work with leverage, and that leverage evaporates as long as Caitlin Clark keeps playing. Most players need the WNBA far more than the WNBA needs them. Their overseas contracts depend on WNBA credibility. Endorsement deals rely on WNBA exposure. Their entire professional identity centers on being WNBA players. Remove that and what remains? Sophie has her podcast and business ventures, but average players holding out for revenue sharing are gambling their entire careers on economic illiteracy masquerading as principles. The league could call their bluff, playing with replacement players and rookies while keeping their major stars. A 2026 strike means competing with World Cup, tennis, golf, NWSL, MLS, MLB, professional volleyball, and expanding softball leagues. The WNBA disappears for a year and casual fans move on permanently. When they return in 2027, they're rebuilding audiences from scratch, demanding revenue sharing now, after one successful season following 27 years of losses, isn't brave or deserved. It's economically illiterate. Sophie Cunningham understands business better than this, but she's letting solidarity override financial common sense, which makes this entire situation deeply disappointing because she's absolutely smart enough to know better.